What's up, everybody? Thanks as always for supporting the show. It would mean a lot to me if you would take a second to scroll down and hit that subscribe button to the Hoops Tonight YouTube channel, and then follow me on social media on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter so you guys don't miss any of our content over the course of this season. All right, let's talk some basketball. All right, moving on to Thunder Kings. So OKC makes a late game run here. The Kings kind of controlled this game, but OKC goes on a late game run. They get it to 2. It's 119-117. The Mark Daigneault runs this hammer action. Now remember what a hammer action is like they run like a ball screen or a dribble handoff on the right side of the floor. Then on the left side of the floor, they have the guy in the corner basically set a flare screen for a shooter coming off the wing. And so essentially what it does is you're taking advantage of these two help defenders and their tendency to be watching whatever the hell's going on over here with this dribble handoff or ball screen, and you might be able to catch the guy guarding the shooter off guard on that screen and have an opening for a skip pass for a wide open three. They ran it for Chet Holmgren, which like initially you go like, this is what's so cool about Chet is as a center. And in this particular play, he had Trey Lyles on him, and Trey Lyles is more, he's more capable of navigating these types of things. But you can imagine that working really, really well when Chet has a center on him too, because the center is going to have no idea what the hell's going on because he's not used to dealing with shooters coming off flare screens, right? But it still works. But Josh Giddey puts the pass a little bit too far to the left of Chet, if Chet's standing right here a little bit to Chet's left, and it forced him to kind of break his rhythm a little bit, and Trey Lyles was able to recover and get a contest on it. That was a really good example to me of the importance of precision passing. Like when you're playing elite defenses, and again, the Kings have been defending better in this recent stretch. But it's a problem when you get down the line to the higher quality defenses that you face down the line. The openings are this big. And so something silly like making a bad pass that is outside of the shooting pocket that breaks the shooter's rhythm could buy the defense enough time to rotate in that specific case. And I thought that was interesting because it ended up being one of those things where Josh Giddey misses him. As a result, Trey Lyles is able to get a good contest. He misses that shot, right? They go down the other end in semi-transition. The Thunder ended up getting an offensive rebound on that play, and Josh Giddey, I thought, forced a floater that he probably shouldn't have taken. You could see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander getting a little annoyed. But they pushed the other way. And De'Aaron Fox hits Chet Holmgren with this disgusting hesitation move. Like, gets into the middle of the floor, gets the ball into his right hand, and just looks up at the rim. And it causes Chet to step up and open his body away from that left side of the rim and face this way. De'Aaron crosses back over, and that buys him the angle to get back to his left hand and finish at the rim. Now it's 121-117. And then on the other end, the Thunder end up running they run a pick and roll with Shai and Josh Giddey, where Josh Giddey short rolls and the Kings blitz. And in the process, they get a wide open three again for Chet Holmgren on the left wing. This time, plenty of time. This time, the pass is in the right spot. Chet just misses it. And then on the other end, the Kings miss on the next possession, but they go down again. Shai has an isolation on the right wing. They dig down. It's another wide open three for Jalen Williams, and he misses it. So some tough shot luck there for Oklahoma City down the stretch. But then again, the Kings, for the most part throughout that game, got better shots. They were up 10 before the Thunder kind of had their wild comeback. I did think it was an interesting kind of late game sequence, though, in an example of just some of the interesting stuff that this team has available to them from the standpoint of like Chet being able to run shooting actions and have it actually be a high percentage play. The ability to use Josh Giddey as a screener and what he can do in the short roll as a decision maker. And then just simple, like if you put Shai in, we talked about this in the Dallas Mavericks game against the Lakers. When you put a scorer at the elbow, and like Shai was attacking at the elbow on that dig down for Jalen Williams, but also like Luka was killing the Lakers with elbow ISOs. From the elbow, you're so much closer to the basket that guys have to kind of get into help position sooner. And so that forces them to come further off of shooters. When you start your action 30 feet from the basket, even if I do beat you off the dribble and get downhill, there's a lot more time for people to recover before I can really start causing problems. And I thought it was just an interesting kind of offensive approach from Oklahoma City. But obviously, the Kings win the game. Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox were incredible. They combined for 59 points and 16 assists. I've been talking a lot about this idea of elite perimeter defense teams against the Kings, and this is the latest in a long line, right? Like, they really struggled with the Clippers. They really struggled with the Houston Rockets. They really struggled with the New Orleans Pelicans. Teams that can put long athletes on their guards can cause them some problems. Now, the Thunder are not as long on the perimeter, because they're guys like Lou Dort and Shai. They're not 6'8". They're not like some of these perimeter defenders they saw with the Clippers or or with the Pelicans. That said, like, they are excellent perimeter defenders, and sometimes it's like you just have to do better than the guy across from you, right? Like, this was a big thing in that series against the Warriors. It was a lot of Gary Payton. It was a lot of Andrew Wiggins. It was a lot of good on-ball defenders for the Warriors that De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk just found a way to get downhill on. And the big thing foundationally is De'Aaron Fox's pull-up jump shot. He's just having an unbelievable pull-up jump shot season this year. He's shooting 46% on them, 57% when you weight it for threes. That's 1.14 points per shot. To give you an idea, there are 18 players in the NBA this year that have taken at least 150 pull-up jump shots. Fox's 1.14 points per shot is second in the league. So he's been the second best pull-up jump shot maker in the league by volume, or among that specific set of volume. Now, to give you an idea of just how insane Tyrese Halliburton is, he's a full 1/10 of a point better per pull-up jump shot than De'Aaron Fox in second place. So Tyrese Halliburton is like head and shoulders better than everybody shooting pull-up jump shots this year. So shout out to Tyrese. But De'Aaron Fox, it's just that combination of elite pull-up jump shooting and the downhill athleticism. I'll give you an example. That little hesitation move I talked about when it was 119-117 to put the Kings up 120-117. If De'Aaron Fox makes that little hesitation move into the lane and he's a 35% pull-up jump shooter, Chet probably doesn't react to it because he's probably thinking, oh yeah, he's going to take a little short jump shot. I'd rather have him take that shot, right? But because De'Aaron Fox has been knocking that thing down all year long, guys are starting to react to that, and that's allowing him to get downhill easier. I just thought in general, De'Aaron Fox finished really, really well at the rim against Chet. And again, like, Chet has been, Chet can get buried by some of these bigger bigs, but the dude can block shots, and Fox was just not bothered by him in this game. And to give you an idea of where his jump shot is right now, 1.14 points per pull-up jump shot. Last year, he was at 0.94. So he's literally more than 20% better than he was last year with his pull-up jump shot, which is huge. I thought Malik Monk was awesome in this game. He had he had a ridiculous block and help side in transition. He had this ridiculous bounce pass to a cutter. He had a between the legs sidestep pull-up three that was just unbelievably nasty. Malik Monk just has a bag, man. It's ridiculous. Keon Ellis has been an interesting kind of a guy for the Kings this year that no one really expected. Hit 5 threes in this game, can take some point of attack assignments, has some decent length for the position. This is a kind of archetype that we've been talking about with the Kings for a while, like a guy that's more of an off-ball player, that's more of an athlete that can help on the defensive end of the floor. His point of attack metrics this year in isolation and in pick and roll have been excellent. I thought that was a kind of a revelation last night. On the Thunder front, Josh Giddey had his best game in a while. Teams are ignoring him off the ball, and they're blitzing off of him in ball screens, but he's being aggressive in catch-and-shoot situations. He had 3 catch-and-shoot jump shots in this game. He's also making really good reads out of the short roll, which is a good use of him, to be honest, just because he has that passing ability. He's tall enough to kind of see over the defense as he's making those reads. Didn't like that floater he forced late in the game, but I thought it was an encouraging game from him. They also did a lot of hedging and recovering on De'Aaron Fox to try to keep Dort on him. And I didn't think the hedges were particularly sharp. De'Aaron was able to split a lot of them, and it didn't really stop him from getting downhill. And I think they have the perimeter defenders to just switch more in those situations. And so I thought that tactically is something they could have adjusted. But overall, I thought they played pretty well. And again, like, Sacramento's really good. And you got a Chet Holmgren 3 in the corner that could have given you a lead. It was a decent look. It was mildly contested. Chet Holmgren got another wide open 3 on the left wing late in the game. Jalen Williams had a wide open 3 on the left wing in the game. So, like, you shoot a little bit better, you have a chance to win that game. One other thing on the OKC front, there was a report this morning, I believe from Bleacher Report, that the Jazz are going to be listening to offers on Lauri Markkanen. And I've talked about this all year for the Pacers and the Thunder, but that is the specific archetype they need. They need a big forward that can help them on the defensive glass, that can help them in help defense situations and play well in their drive and kick system. And I think Lauri is absolutely perfect for that. The Thunder have the assets to make it happen. I saw some people on Twitter being like, they shouldn't overpay. Danny Ainge is going to make you want to overpay. And like, I get that. And like, don't get me wrong, from a negotiation standpoint, Danny Ainge is going to have a really strong position. But here's the deal. Like, you have a shit ton of draft picks. You have all of the talent in the world. You're the second seed in the West right now. You are literally on the precipice of being able to contend in the Western Conference. And like, Lauri Markkanen is the perfect fit. And I understand the patient approach. And I'm not saying you call him and you give him everything you have. But if you have to overpay a little bit to get Lauri Markkanen, you overpay a little bit to get Lauri Markkanen. At the end of the day, like we've seen too often with this stuff where like when teams like Miami get super, super picky about what they're willing to pay and super picky about who they're willing to go after. And the next thing you know, you move on and they don't have anybody, right? And again, the Thunder don't have anybody in-house that fits that big forward alongside Chet kind of archetype. I think they're going to have to go outside to find that. And to me, it's like, it's pretty straightforward that a guy like Lauri kind of fills that need perfectly.